In the heart of Oregon, nestled in the towering peaks of Mount Hood, lies Timberline Lodge, a historic ski resort known for its stunning views and miles of powdery slopes. While it's a popular destination for skiers and snowboarders alike, there's a darker, far more chilling side to this resort. It's a place where time seems to stand still, where the mountains whisper secrets that most are too afraid to uncover. But behind the pristine white snow, there's a haunting legend that has persisted for decades, an eerie presence that refuses to leave. Many visitors have come to Timberline Lodge over the years, seeking thrills on the slopes. But some leave with much more than just sore muscles. One chilling account comes from a group of snowboarders who visited the resort in the late 90s. After a day of snowboarding, they decided to venture up to a more remote part of the mountain as nightfall set in. There, far away from the lights of the resort, they witnessed something strange. A shadowy figure standing at the edge of the trees. As they watched the figure, a cold wind began to whip through the trees, carrying with it a sound, a soft, whispering voice that seemed to come from nowhere. The group, initially dismissing it as the wind, suddenly stopped. The voice grew louder, almost as if it were calling their names. Terrified, they scrambled back to the resort. They weren't alone. The voice, they would later recall, had an unnatural, hollow quality. A voice that echoed as if it was trapped in the mountain itself. Even more unsettling were the reports from the locals. Tales of a ghostly skier seen darting across the slopes at night, moving at breakneck speeds but never leaving any tracks behind. Those who encountered this figure spoke of a skier clad in all white, their face obscured by a helmet and goggles. Some say it's the spirit of a skier who died tragically years ago, while others believe it's the restless soul of a mountain guide who vanished in the snow, never to be found again. One of the most terrifying events to ever occur at Timberline Lodge was the disappearance of a ski patrolman in 2012. The patrolman, well known and trusted by the locals, was last seen heading up the mountain during a late-night check of the slopes. But he never returned. The search parties found nothing. No tracks in the snow, no signs of a struggle. It was as if the man had simply vanished into thin air. Some believe he encountered something that watches over the mountain, something that doesn't want anyone leaving. Locals who have lived near Mount Hood for generations speak of an ancient curse that hangs over the mountain, passed down from the indigenous peoples who once inhabited the land. According to their beliefs, the spirits of the mountain are vengeful, and they do not take kindly to intruders. Those who come to conquer the mountain are doomed to face its wrath. Over the years, many skiers and snowboarders have vanished, never to be seen again. Their bodies, some say, remain hidden beneath the snow, eternally trapped within the mountain's icy grasp. As the years go by, the haunting experiences continue at Timberline Lodge. Some say they still hear the whispering voices in the snow. Others claim to have caught a glimpse of the ghostly skier darting through the fog. For some, it's just another story, but for others, it's a warning. Once you enter the mountain's grip, you may never escape the spirits that dwell within. So, if you ever find yourself on the slopes of Mount Hood, remember this: not all who visit return. Timberline Lodge is beautiful, but don't be fooled. The mountain has a secret it keeps hidden beneath the snow. For those who dare to uncover it, there may be no return. And perhaps that is the mountain's true curse, watching, waiting for those who think they can conquer it. In the winter of 2012, at a quiet ski resort in the Rocky Mountains, a tragedy unfolded that remains shrouded in mystery. A ski patrolman, experienced and beloved by his peers, was found dead under circumstances so strange that even investigators were left with more questions than answers. This is the chilling story of the bizarre death of the ski patrolman, a story that still haunts those who remember it. It was a bitterly cold evening in late February when the patrolman Greg Winters set out for his final sweep of the slopes. Greg was known for his reliability and skill, and his routine patrols often stretched into the late hours. That night, a sudden storm rolled in, blanketing the mountain in the thick fog and biting winds. Despite the worsening conditions, Greg radioed that he was heading toward the upper ridge, a decision that would lead to his mysterious demise. When Greg failed to return to the lodge later that night, his colleagues grew concerned. The storm had intensified, making visibility nearly impossible. A search party was quickly assembled, and the mountain was combed for hours. It wasn't until dawn that they found him, lying face down in the snow at the edge of a forest clearing. But it wasn't just his lifeless body that chilled them to the core. The scene was far from ordinary. Greg's body showed no signs of a struggle or any injuries that would explain his death. His radio was still clutched tightly in his hand, and his gear was intact. But the strangest detail was the snow around him, completely undisturbed. No signs of a fall, no evidence of anyone or anything else nearby. It was as if he had simply stopped, laid down, and died. His face, those who found him claimed, was frozen in an expression of pure terror. Speculation ran wild in the days following Greg's death. Some believed he had suffered a sudden heart attack or succumbed to hypothermia, but others pointed to stranger possibilities. Fellow ski patrol members whispered about strange sounds they had heard on the mountain that night, low, guttural growls that seemed to echo through the storm. Others recalled a local legend about the Mountain Watcher, a spirit said to guard the forest from intruders. Could Greg have encountered something that no one else dared to face? Adding to the mystery were the strange disturbances found on Greg's radio. Audio experts who examined it found that during his final minutes, the device had picked up something unusual, static interspersed with faint, indecipherable voices. Some claimed they could hear Greg's panicked breathing, followed by a single, blood-curdling scream before the transmission abruptly cut off. These recordings only deepened the sense of unease surrounding his death. To this day, no one knows exactly what happened to Greg Winters. The autopsy report listed undetermined causes, but his colleagues and locals believe something far more sinister was at play. Whether it was the unforgiving forces of nature, an ancient curse, or a brush with the supernatural, one thing is certain: the mountain holds secrets that may never be uncovered. And for those who brave its slopes, Greg's story serves as a chilling reminder: some places are not meant to be disturbed. Greg Winters was a skilled, experienced patrolman, someone who knew the mountain better than most. Yet his life ended in a way that defies explanation. Was he a victim of the storm? Or did he encounter something more terrifying, something beyond human comprehension? The mountain keeps its secrets, but for those who venture too far, those secrets may come at a deadly cost.